Hello, 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 hello. So today's episode of Rides and Vibes is sponsored by Mr. Keith's Auto Parts. So I think last week I might have said Mr. Keith's Auto Sales, and a lot of you guys were hitting him up asking him what kind of old school cars he sold. No, he is an old school parts dealer, and Mr. Keith has been dealing in parts before a lot of people on social media were born. So he is super, super, super knowledgeable when it comes to these old school parts. He knows a lot. I thought I knew a lot, but this man is like a historian when it comes to the old school parts. So if you're not following Mr. Keith's Auto Parts, make sure you go do that now. And when you purchase something, make sure you let him know KP sent you, because like he's one of the gurus in this. Now, today's guest is Ed, the Stitch Doctor. He's the owner of High Class Customs. He is one of the people that has a whole lot of motion when it comes to this car stuff. I'm gonna let him talk to you guys about a lot of the stuff that he has going on. But when I tell you, he's one of the people that, if you are not following him, it would be probably in your best interest to go ahead and follow him, because he has a lot going on. He has a lot of accolades when it comes to this car stuff. And not to mention, he's one of the people that are more on the humble side, which is super dope. No, he's out of New Orleans. Yep, he is out of New Orleans, Louisiana. And I think I met him first last year. I want to say last year at Rick Ross's car show. Some other upholstery people who are really movers and shakers in the car world introduced him to me. So he's one of the people that, one thing I love. Hey, hello, what's going on? One thing I love. Oh yeah, Mr. Keith is out of Georgia. Yes. So one of the things that I love about a lot of the upholstery guys, I won't say all of them, or upholstery people in general, is a lot of the times they work with each other. They're not how some of the other people are in the car world. Now, granted, all of them don't work with each other. It's not like that, but a lot of them, they network and they understand the assignment. So here's Ed. I'll go ahead and bring him on and we'll get started. Hello.
What's going on, mama?
How are you?
Oh, it's hot. It's hot down here.
It ain't hot. You all right?
I ran over time. I had to take my booty shorts off, you know.
Oh, okay. Don't. We don't want to know about that. But before you came on, well, first of all, I'd like to tell you thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk to us. I really appreciate it. I know it's the busy time of year for a lot of you guys, so I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll start off with one of my questions, and then I'll get right into the fans' questions. Okay.
All right.
All right. So first, tell me how you got started being into cars.
When I was a teenager, just working, just finding a hustle. My mom and dad was self-made entrepreneurs, so just trying to find a way to make money. Cars was the easy route. My dad used to, he was a Shriner. He dealt with Volkswagens and all kind of small cars for the parade. So it made sense for me to actually tinker around with it just a little bit more to, see if I could make money at it. But I did start in the car industry detailing cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went from detailing cars to, okay, so I didn't really want to give away a lot of what you have going on, but for those that are not familiar with you, tell everybody what it is that you do, and what it is that you do at the shop that you own, and then what it is that you do in the car world.
All right. So generally, I'm a car customizer. My business has changed within the last couple of years, where we kind of focus mainly on exotic cars or luxury cars. When you think about upholstery, upholstery goes across the spectrum. Even that sofa that you're sitting on right now, that goes into the upholstery world. Old schools, but what we started focusing on was strictly exotics and strictly luxuries. So generally what I do is I do what every shop do. We customize cars, but we specialize in certain ones.
Okay.
Like you can't come here and you bring me a Cadillac. I'm gonna tell you I'm not qualified to do it.
Okay.
So, but we specialize in generally everything that I'm good at. So I don't offer a service that I can't render myself just in case my guys don't come to work. So we customize full cars, but only at the discretion of the client. If I know the client is not the right client, we won't even go there.
So talk a little bit about that, and that's one thing that I think that's not only if you own a shop, no matter what type of business you own. For me, I feel like great businesses, with the exception of maybe like a restaurant, when you have a business where you have to continually work with a client, I think if you don't get a good feeling about that, it's probably in your best interest to go ahead and let that client go somewhere else.
Right. Most of the people that come in the shops, they're coming in for a price. All right. That dictates what kind of material you use. That dictates how long it's going to take. So you got to really feel them out to see if the posture's right. Let's just say you come in and you have so many questions. You're not qualified. Now, if you have, let's say I had a guy come in the other day. He had 5 questions. So first of all, he wanted the cheapest price. There's no such thing. Then when he brought me, the car was in shreds. All right. So I'm looking at him. We did plenty 96 Impalas before, but not to this magnitude. Everything had to be changed. So when I looked at it and I graded him on time and then I graded him on price, there's no way I could give you a price today because the car, we got to find all the parts for it. So I was wasting so much time with all his questions. He wasn't qualified right from the get-go.
Right.
Yeah, so we ran him completely out the door. He was kind of mad because he said, well, I know you could do it because I saw some of your work. You saw some of my work, but this was way out of my league. So when you think about time and labor, a lot of jobs is not worth it.
Right. So
if you come in and your posture's not right, and then you know, okay, well, I got $3,000. We got an exit. We got a exit in the back, and then we got the entrance that you came out in. Chances are you probably can't go through either one because the price too high. So you might as well don't even come up in here straight from the get-go.
So in other words, those other 96 Impalas you did, they were a better shell to start with in the first place.
Correct. See, look, I never forget. I did a car, and it was a 95 Impala, and it was a nightmare. We could never get finished this car. I'm talking about we spent so many hours, and you got to keep in mind if I put more than one guy on it, now that's double labor.
Right.
All right. I had my whole staff on it, and we could not get this car finished. I'm talking about we couldn't get it bolted in, and we found out after when we finally got the seats in that the car was total. The car was wrecked. The whole frame was off, and I just couldn't bear brakes on that one. I said, well, when we got the car was all put together, and we took it loose. I just couldn't figure it out, and we found out after that the car was wrecked. And that changed my whole outlook on running a business because we spent so much of time and labor on fixing stuff versus doing our job.
Right. So what ends up happening with that?
You fool around, you're being caught. Because everybody quick to want to sue a shop, but They don't. If you a shop, and I got sued before too. We did a beautiful job on the interior, and we touched this guy's console. And by me trying to fix the guy's console, we resumed responsibility for everything that was wrong in his car. That was the first time I had heard that. But we resumed responsibilities because when he brought the vehicle, he had 2 TVs in the headrest. When he left, the TVs wasn't in it because they was broken. So by us trying to fix the headrest, that we had to buy him 2 new headrests, we had to buy him 2 new TVs, and he knew that stuff wasn't working in his car. So from there, we started doing the contract. Once we pulled out the contract, we haven't had any more problems since then.
So the contract, what does the contract, do you guys go do a walkthrough with the customer? How does the contract work?
All right. So when you come in, you pick your materials. All right. So we start you, so there's vinyl, then there's leather. All right. So let's just say you say, well, I want a cheap interior. Okay. Cheap as possible. Now I go ahead on and give you the price for that vinyl. All right. But we won't even take the job. I give you the full rundown. That way you know what to expect when you go to the other shop. All right. So I give you a price so we can finish, not to get it. So then you might say, well, damn, well, why you gave me this price if you're not gonna take the job? Well, we gave you a good price. That way you could know what to expect at the other shop. If you're not using the materials that we're selecting, there's no way we'll be able to finish. So we itemize it where you kind of break it down. So let's say if you say the dashboard price is too high, you could just do the seat. Chances are, if you break it up, we still won't touch the job anyway. So your posture comes from everything. Now, sometimes we do spend a lot of time on getting the client to sign up, but there's no ins and outs. Then once we sign you up, okay, well, once this vehicle is finished on this date, now you have 10 days to pick up the car. If you don't have it picked up within those 10 days, we charge you storage. After that 30th day of storage, I can file for titles through the state. Mm-hmm. Now, once they know that when you signing up, nobody leave their car.
It's a lot of, so I'm around a lot of shops, right? Mm-hmm. I know it's a lot of shops that don't do that. They don't have the customer sign contracts. They don't start the lien process. That's a lot to leave cars. Like, I've been at a shop and the shop done had a person car for 2 years and ain't heard from the person. So first of all, how do you got this car for 2 years? You ain't put a lien on it and sold it or nothing, and you ain't heard from this person.
That means they didn't finish their working time.
I don't know what happened, but the person, you ain't heard from the person. So what do you do in that case? Now, me, I always said, I'll be like you. If I had a shop and after I ain't heard from them, I know work. Okay, first of all, hopefully you don't run out of money while I'm doing the work. Then when the money run out and I ain't heard from you, now I'm about to start charging storage. I done made every attempt to contact you. Now I'm about to start charging storage.
Well, so look, the hope you gotta hope that you qualified the right client. Anybody that put out a contract for as a shop, they're not leaving their car there. If they know you have a binding contract, they're not leaving their car. Because if you know you got $3,000 and let's say he tell you 7, and when that contract falls out, now be perfectly honest with you, let's just say we had a Corvette. Now this happened 4 years ago. We had a Corvette. The guy wanted to put all the money up for the vehicle, right? And when I looked at it, I said, well, there's a term called unforeseen damage, okay? And what unforeseen means, once we take it out, once we take it apart, we generally call you back and tell you, hey, look, this is what we found, all right? Now, once we do that, it's your ability, or you have the right to say, well, no, don't worry about fixing this, such and such, such and such. But chances are, we find the unforeseen damage once we took the vehicle apart. So you locked in for that. So what I do is I add the unforeseen into your price right from the get-go, just in case. So all in front of you. So now you know, okay, well, damn, he charging me, let's just throw a number, 2,500 for unforeseen. Damn, that's messed up. Well, we don't get paid for attention to detail. So let's just say your interior in your car is finished, right? We don't get paid for cleaning your car back up, and when you pick it up, it's nice and clean, it's nice and vacuumed out. We don't get paid for that. So that falls into unforeseen damage.
Okay.
All right. So let's just say I crack your windshield, because we do make mistakes. I can't charge you for a windshield because you walked around your car, you saw the damage on your car. So the contract actually holds me responsible just as well as you.
Which falls under unforeseen, right?
Right.
Okay.
See, because let's just say if I tell you, and I'm real adamant about time, like if I tell you 6 weeks for your vehicle to be completely finished, now I'm under the gun. All right. So that means I'm going to knock your vehicle out in the 6 weeks because I'm on schedule for the next car. So long as we got a contract, everybody's feeling good, you know. Now you don't mind picking up your vehicle because, okay, well, my car's going to be done such and such, and I know he's going to charge me storage. So let me go ahead and get my car.
Right.
So look, people check my posture all the time too. Because look, I might see a car that's really out my league and my eyes will go like, oh. So you got to check the shop owner's posture. If he need the money bad, don't leave your car. If the shop is in trouble and they say, well, oh man, work slow, don't leave it. Don't do it. Because chances are he's probably taking your job to get out the hole, and now he's got to take the next job for the next week. So he'll never work on your car.
Right.
But a shop owner not going to pull out a contract if he's going to shift you.
Exactly.
So it works. The contract work in both ways. I mean, I never had a client that backed out of the contract, and I never had a problem with me even having to refund somebody some money or anything like that. You know.
How do you select the materials you use?
Well, now that's hard. So years ago, you got companies that sell stuff all the time. All right. So you have 12 selections. So just like the winter tint process, we have all the shades, but then you have people that might say, hey, look, I might not keep the car that long. I don't want nothing expensive, such and such, such and such. All right, well, this is the price that you're gonna pay, no matter if it's a good car or expensive car. This is what you pay. Well, that company that we've been using for years. So I only have top grade material. Okay, when you talk about leathers and vinyls, we only use what we have a relationship with.
And who's
Wheels?
that?
I only sell one wheel company.
Who's your interior people?
Oh, Impact.
That's my people.
Yeah, Impact.
That's my people.
yeah, Impact. Actually, look, we that's all we actually sell in the shop now. I haven't sold anything like nothing but Impact. I haven't had a problem with it. So we sell what we can sell to the client, so they don't come back. They bring another vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
I don't want you coming back and saying, look at the seat. Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You finished.
I don't want you coming back and saying, hey, look, take a look at my seat, Ed. It's gone. It's done. You're not bringing it back.
What about wheels and paint? And do you have select companies you use for that, or do you try everything out?
So wheels we use in ADV ones. Actually, let me see if I can switch this around. This wheel here that's sitting on here, that's one of my wheels. It's missing the center cap. But we use the same thing over and over again, just change the color.
Right.
I mean, there's other rim brands, but by us working on exotic cars, like ADV1 never let us down. Well, let me knock on wood, because just because I'm saying that, they're going to let me down in the morning. They're going to let me down tomorrow.
What's one thing that you wish so how long have you been in business?
2 decades, 21 years.
What? You don't even look. You almost don't even look 21 years old.
Now look, this gray hair, I'm gonna cut this off now. Look, I'm gonna be looking back about 30 in the mornings. I'm gonna cut this off.
So what's one thing that you wish you knew when you first started your business that you learned that you had to learn and you was like, dang, if I'd have known this when I first started my business, I'd have probably been a lot better off.
I wish I would have learned how to select workers and select the people that's around me. That's real important with especially custom shops. All help is not good help.
Right.
That's one of the main things I wish I would have been able to learn.
How long did it take you to find a good crew?
Yeah, I'm still looking for the best crew. Shops get rid of guys. You might hire the same guy 8, 9 times, and think that look, I'm doing better now. Here, man, can I get my job back? Everybody leave thinking, oh man, he getting over on me. But that's the hardest thing, finding good help.
That's the absolute hardest thing with running a shop, finding good help.
That's the hardest thing. So I wish I could have found good help or learned how to vent people in long time ago. Just because you say you do upholstery work do not mean that you can work on the caliber cars that come here.
Right.
Because when you use the word upholstery could mean that sofa that you're sitting on. That could mean, it don't mean clothing, but there's some people that mix a blouse up with car seats. And just because your grandma had a singer does not mean she could come sew up a seat. So you got to really watch what a person tell you.
Right. I see some people upholstery in their car, and I've been like, wonder if they did that themselves.
Look, I'm one of my worst critics. I trash seats all the time. Don't think I'm around here just manhandling stuff. I trash seats all the time because I look at it, and when I come back to it, if it's bothering me, I go ahead on and start all over. But I just don't see how people could really look at their work and they just not honest and know that it's not good.
So before you came on, I was giving the upholstery people their props because I won't say y'all all get along. I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is quite a few of y'all believe in trying to network and play nice with each other. It's you, Stitch, the Harris brothers. It's a few of y'all that y'all believe in playing nice and understanding that many hands make light work. You know what I'm saying? That just when one of y'all win, y'all all win.
Right. I guess.
Well, that's what I saw with. I ain't gonna say about a whole bunch of other people, but at least y'all three. Three that I know personally. Well, the 4 because the Harris brothers twins. But you know what I'm saying?
Well, look, me and Slick, that's my guy. Like me and him jam tight, man. It's hard for upholstery guys now. Shop owners, it's hard for us to mingle. Okay, so let's use me for instance. I'm a real humble guy, all right. But let's just say you own a shop, and you can't talk shit to me. You don't do the interior. Anybody can mount a wheel. Anybody could sand some paint. Anybody could, wrap a car. But when you could touch any part of the car, now your conversation is different. Well, right. Some guys, they flex. Oh yeah, I do this, I do that. Well, how long or how many shops have you lost? How many times have you moved? Like the conversation, you got to make sure that your conversation lines up with the way you run your business. So like I said, I'm humble, and a lot of the guys that I actually, do business with, they also humble too. Like Stitch is a real humble dude. that southern accent, like when we talk and you hear his accent, then you hear my accent, you be like, damn, y'all from the South. Like, you damn right. So, we both are humble guys, but the conversation is not the same when a person could touch the full vehicle.
Right.
I don't devalue anybody's work, but I'm a harsh critic of my own. I don't look at other people's work too much, but we get along because we are humble.
Right.
A lot of conversations I don't want to have with people because I'm a humble guy.
Right. But because I know you personally, I already know if you wanted to flex, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna get on to that. But I already know if you wanted to flex, you know what I'm saying? Just like I know both of y'all, I know you and Stick. So I know if y'all wanted to flex. I'm not encouraging you to flex. I'm just saying if you wanted to flex, you could. Because it's quite a few things that, you know what I'm saying, y'all either got in the works or have done, have worked on, that somebody will be like, you know what I'm saying? That's what's up.
Right. Look, I'm from New Orleans, which is the home of who? Cash Money Records, baby, the #1 stunner. I get it from him, right? But at the end of the day, you gotta know who to flex on.
Right.
And I started learning that, hey, look, my flex is better. It's better to show them the flex versus to run your mouth.
Right.
And like I said, I learned to actually start. I haven't been posting on IG much because my flex has been kind of something where I've been kind of critiquing, but I'm understanding. Hey, look, bro, you got to pop your collar and show them how to get this done.
Right.
Yeah, but I can flex now.
I know. What's one of the things that it's a two-part question. What is your absolute favorite part of the car world, and what's the part your least favorite, the part you hate the most?
The part I hate is the lack of information. How people don't want to share information. You don't share your monetary information, but you share the information side to guide a person forward. Like, I wouldn't show you a technique that's monetized. Like, most of the stuff that I'm good at is basically a monetized business. I wouldn't show you that. But what I would guide you on is what's the best, or what's a company that you can buy great materials from. I will show you on how to build your business. If you had a problem with taxes, I'll give you the advice of hey, look, get your CPA, such and such, such and such. I don't mind like paying it forward, but I'm not gonna pay you back. Like, don't give them something that's gonna cost you in the long run, because all they're gonna do is water the technique down that you actually make money off of. But for the knowledge of how to get cars at SEMA and stuff like that, like, yeah, now you pay that forward. Now, one of the things I love about the industry and that I kind of indulge in is showing my work. Now at a spot in my business now, my work gets displayed to the right people.
That's a good segue for my next question. So, what have been some of the things, some of the accolades that you, hopefully you'll say my favorite one that you have, but what have been some of the accolades that you have received that you were like, oh, wow, when I started, I never would have thought that this would happen? What's a couple of the accolades you received that, just stood out to you?
I think probably really the biggest one to date is probably the SEMA 35 under 35 award.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. You know what? I'm telling a lie. That's one of the ones that made that kind of touched my heart, because there's different factors why, but it just shows that a lot of people are being overlooked, and it's the SEMA 35 under 35. I also got another award with the military, because we built military tanks. That was a big one, but this one, the SEMA one, was the one that got me.
So let's talk about the SEMA awards, and so let me think about how to ask this, because I don't want to. Okay, I'll just ask it. What I have noticed in my few years, I've probably been about 3-4 years, maybe. I know you've been a lot more. What I have noticed in reference to SEMA, I feel like it's moving toward more noticing African Americans or people of color more. But I think when I looked at that 35 under 35, if I'm not mistaken, and so you just correct me if I'm wrong, that particular year, were you the only African American person there?
Yep. Well, no. Well, I was the only one that was selected.
Okay.
All right. Now look, there's plenty of African Americans, but they can't get elevated up to the top where they get knowledge or get known or get spotlighted.
Right.
Now, quick stat, I have been the only one since. So we dug into that, and all I'm gonna tell you, African Americans gotta step their game up. We're being left out because we gotta do something strange for the change. Don't do it halfway. You gotta go all in. Same way with you. I mean, shit. You quit your job to jump in the car industry to pursue something. That's a big deal. That's some, like you got the award, the trendsetter. That's some trend setting stuff, because most people have a side job. Oh, I'm gonna do this. When you jump straight into the car industry, that's it. And I mean, it takes a lot of balls to do that. So we gotta step our game up, and we gotta do something. That way, they got to give you the awards. They got to highlight you. They got to spotlight you.
So for those that are not aware, what year was that you were on the SEMA's 35 under 35?
That was 2016.
And so since 2016, there have been no more African Americans selected for that?
Nope.
Jeez. That's crazy.
But I will say this. If you look at the register, there's the SEMA register. Okay. Right. Now I'm on the SEMA Pro board. Okay, part of Pro. If you look at the SEMA register, there's the registered shops. Okay. If you look at the registered shops, there's not too many African American shops up there. So why is that? Well, they're not registering. Okay.
Right.
Well, when you dig into it, SEMA, you got to give your business cards, you got to give all your credentials and stuff like that. Well, people, they want to go, so fill all your paperwork out, submit it. Well, most of the shops, let's don't say most, a lot of them aren't legal. So if you're not legal, how could you even get spotlighted?
Right.
You can't even jump in the conversation. So that pretty little badge that they give us to put around our neck, when people look at your name and they look, oh, he don't even have a shop. Oh, that's JT's Mufflers. I know JT, he's a worker. That badge means a whole lot when you put it around your neck.
Right.
So look, I wear my name on everything I have on. I run it down people's throat, because okay, well, that's the guy from high class. Here's the ass go again, Bob. So, I mean, you got to do the same thing. Sign up, register. That way you can be highlighted.
So of SEMA, what are some of the other things that you participate in that you would like to talk about?
Well, the only other thing that I'm kind of tampering around with that's been consuming a lot of time is Barrett Jackson. But I mean, that's really nothing to talk about.
So listen, so let me just tell you, this year was my first year going to Barrett Jackson. Now, mind you, I am a car connoisseur.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter what it is with cars, I want to go. When they had Whips by Way and them had a car show in Japan, I wanted to go. When they have it again, I'm going. I want to go to Barrett Jackson. I want to go to SEMA. I want to go to PRI. I want to go to all things cars just to experience it.
Right.
So when I went to Barrett Jackson, I talked to you before, so you gave me the little crash course. But I did not understand. I was not prepared for Barrett Jackson. First of all, me and my friend Tiffany, we're walking. She's a former NFL wife, so she's used to being in the room where, and me from corporate America, I'm kind of used to being in a room where I may or may not be the only African American female, but there are some African American males there. When we talking Barrett Jackson, and I know you had done gave me the crash course, but I ain't believe you. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
We walk in, and I'm like, I got my brand on. I'm representing. I'm gonna go, mix and mingle. I told Tiffany, I say, Ed was right. This show ain't too many of us in here.
It's a whole nother world. I mean, it's a whole nother world, but you just gotta do your job.
Right.
I started blocking it out because everybody want to know, well, who's that guy? Oh, and they're looking. He's going. Wait a minute. He's on the stage. He's going over there. What is he doing? Who is that guy? But that's part of the uniform now.
Yeah. So I feel like it's like kicking in the door. Like I said, me and Tiffany, I did see a few African American men in there, but I did not see any African American women in there.
There's not too many women in the car industry. I'm talking about if you find one, I've been looking for 5, right? If I could grab 5, that would be some good work. So I mean, that's why I like looking at your page and looking at your podcast, because you're highlighting another woman most of the time. Now the question is, are they interested in that? Because I mean, now that you found them, now let's go to these places.
Right.
Now that the caliber of work has to keep you in the room.
Right.
So I mean, look, it's a whole nother world, and it's an experience that we're missing. I mean, I have saw some stuff within the last 5 years that I would have never imagined that I would even see. But that's from going places where we wouldn't even imagine.
That's what made me be like, actually, so I have a bucket list of car things that I want to do. Mm-hmm. Of course, Barrett Jackson was one of them. But what I really want to do, and I think I may try this next year, is go to all 4 Barrett Jacksons in the year so I can see. I had to go to Scottsdale's first. I couldn't go to any other ones because Scottsdale was first. But I definitely want to next year go to all 4 Barrett Jackson and just see the difference in them. I'm pretty sure it's a tight ship. It runs the same way, but I just want to attend in every single city.
I'm going to tell you, look, I done been to all of them. Nothing like Scottsdale.
Mm-hmm.
That Super Saturday, when I tell you it's star-studded, it's star-studded. Nothing like it. I've been to Mecum auctions, nothing like Barrett Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that feeling of seeing these cars, and when they come across the stage, it's nothing like it.
As a person who watched Barrett Jackson on TV, I'm telling whoever's watching, if you've never been to it like in real life, you have got to go. It's an experience like it's nothing like on TV. Nothing like on TV. On TV just shows you a small glimpse of it. It's amazing.
First time I went there was a joke. It was a pure joke. I'm talking about we was joking, pure joke. And that joke turned into something outrageous. And I can say this though. I am blessed to actually work with, and I used to look at this as this was a bad thing. I used to I can't believe I'm about to tell you this, but I realized this recently that I am blessed to actually work with four of the guys that I grew up admiring. That's kind of big to work with these guys, and now today they call me for assistance and call me for work.
Isn't it weird how life comes full circle?
Yeah.
I had a moment. Well, I still have moments like that a lot, but my standout moment was when I used to watch Murph on East Coast Riders, and then I met him in real life, and we became friends before he passed away. God bless the dead. I was like, God, how did this happen? You know what I'm saying? I was like, this was one of the people like I used to watch on DVDs, and now this is my friend. I can call him, and yeah, that's crazy.
Well, so probably when I was, I think I was like 15 or 16. You know, you cut on TV and you see Unique Rides. Well, it was Unique Whips at the time. Okay?
Right.
And you know, shouts out to my boy Buju, the interior man. Back then I didn't know I was gonna be an interior man. But we you know, I cut on the TV and I look at magazines. All you saw was West Coast Customs or Unique.
Right.
Okay. Every magazine. You open up Rides, you open up any magazine had the two. Okay. But then when you flip to the Robb Report or the DuPont Registry or any high-end magazine, you saw Craig Jackson. Like everybody know what Barrett Jackson is and Craig Jackson. Okay. Then in the interior world, you flipping and you looking at hot rod magazines, and then you run across this guy, Sid Shavers. Okay. Well, I wouldn't have known that as years pass, when I get a little older, I'll go to SEMA, start playing around and start working for these guys. Or let's say not working for them, working with them.
Right.
And you know, to this day, I mean, I still do work with Ryan. I don't really do much with Will Castro, but these are guys that I admire that actually got me in the car industry. And to know that, hey, look, 21 years later that you've been in business, but 25 years later, you know, you still, like, you at the top of the game where they call you. That's I never would have imagined.
And these people like legends in the car stuff. You know what I'm saying? You like, oh my God, listen, let me just tell you, this is one of the things where, you know, I had to tell myself the experience sometimes outweighs the money. Not that we don't need money to live, not that we don't, money is not everything to everybody, but right. We need it to live. We need it to sustain our lifestyle. We need it so we ain't living under the bridge, right? But when I sit back, and maybe this is these are your sentiments as well. When I sit back and I look at the scope of my life, A, I'm blessed to do what I love, and B, I know am close with and can pick up the phone and call some real legends in this car stuff, and not call they shop, call they personal phone, and they take my call.
Right.
Look,
I'm with you. Look, sometimes I get overwhelmed even knowing that. Like, it's when you do the right thing, you get those connections.
Right.
I never forget. I don't know if you watch RMD Garage, Ralph Hogan.
Right.
I went down to Long Beach, and I forgot why I was in California. I went down to Long Beach, and you ever heard of the Wild Body King?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I pulled up on the Wild Body King, and he was like, "Oh man, look, let's go take a ride." So I'm thinking like, well, damn. I remember I used to look at the magazines a long time ago. Why you hanging out with Wild Body King? Like you could call these guys, like you can call their personal phone. Then you flip around and then you think about Ralph Hogan. This guy didn't know me, but once he shook my hand and look, we've been brothers since then. And I mean, that just touched my heart to know that guys really trust you and they don't mind, sharing with you.
Do you ever just pinch yourself and be like, when did this happen? When did I?
Look, half the stuff that happened to me, I really can't believe that it happens. And I don't post much about it because the average person, they would have so many weird questions. And
right.
Like like prime example. So you remember old school rapper Coolio, right?
Right.
Now Coolio, I met him at SEMA. Weird story. I'm walking, minding my own business. I was hungry as hell. And I see somebody walk up and I scratch my head. I said, damn, that dude look like Coolio. I said this to myself and sure enough, it was Coolio. But he was like, oh man, you the stitch doctor, man. Looking at him like Coolio, that's you? And I'm looking at this man, I'm like, man, that ain't no Coolio. But the more I'm looking, I said, man, that is Coolio. So I'm confused because I'm like, man, is that Coolio? Yeah, that's Coolio. No, that ain't no Coolio, man. Well, finally, brought him to the Barrett Jackson booth. We chopping it up with them, and they was blown away like, oh man, you walking with Coolio. Well, from that moment, I'm thinking, he's gonna go to his respected areas and stuff. Man, I couldn't get rid of him. So I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So I knew it. We had cooled out that one night. We ended up cooling out the next night, and I couldn't get rid of him. I'm talking about he'll call me, give me advice, and I'm thinking like, damn, bro, you met Coolio? Wow.
Right.
Coolio. Like, I still couldn't believe that. Like, Coolio, damn. And
right.
when I tell people, like, I don't remember Coolio, then when you see him, oh, Gangsta's Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
You know him? Man, you don't know him. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I got it. And so some of the stories, it just sounds crazy.
Right.
So I don't go up with some people that way you wouldn't think, okay, well, man, it is retarded, man.
But that's just how it happens. I mean, I just feel like, I guess, what's for you is for you. What's supposed to happen for you happens for you. Because I sit down. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I said, sometimes I sit down at the end of my day and I think to myself, really, is this your life? Is this really your life? Like, are you going to wake up? Are you dreaming? Because it's really weird, some of the stuff that happens, but it's in a good way. You know what I'm saying?
I think more than anything, because like when I ran up on you, you was on a golf cart, and I think when you have a good spirit and you well mannered, you could talk to anyone.
Right.
And some people just can't vibe with people like that. So right. I mean you are a nice woman where you can get along with anybody, and that's real big. Right. Being humble comes with the personality, and you can talk to anybody. So once you blend in the room, you can stay because you're not a problem.
Right.
If you what a lot of people and your personality is not good, they're gonna show you the exit or they're gonna show you the entrance. One of the two.
Right. I think a lot of people just don't understand the assignment. For me, I'm ready to network and get busy working with anybody as long as um our personalities mesh well and I don't get a bad vibe from you.
Right.
And that's what has been able to work. And not to mention, because I'm a business person. My growing up, my father had businesses. I should have probably never went into corporate America. I probably should have just opened a business or worked for my father and learned. But I did what I did and I took the path that I took. But I understand that, for one thing, one of the most important things in business is customer service.
Right.
So I have a service spirit, and I understand that as long as you treat people well most of the time, your business can go as far as you can take it.
I believe that. I mean, just because you treat people well, that don't mean you know how to run a business, though.
That's not the only thing, though. It goes hand in hand with some other things, but you gotta. I feel like I used to I I say a lot Chick-fil-A service, but somebody brought it to my attention as well the other day. Publix has great service. Like, it's some companies that you expect to go there and you know they're gonna have great
Right.
service. And that's one of the things that I think we get a lot of smaller business or a lot of minority owned businesses get a bad rep for. They say we don't have good service, good customer service. We don't have a lot of things. But we do. We just never get highlighted when we have those things. We only get highlighted when we have the bad things.
Well, a small business owner can't give you good quality and good service.
You don't think so?
Nah. I'm a prime example of that. I know that sounds crazy, but I can't give you good quality work and great service. I just can't do it. You gotta take either off. So I'd rather give you a great quality product, and you listen to my rules, and you let me do this job under my rules, and everybody happy. But I can't give you great service and a great quality product. I know that sounds crazy. It's gonna register in your head probably later on, but you can't do. I can't do both.
I'm gonna agree to disagree on that, but we good enough. We cool enough to agree to disagree on that.
Look, I could come close. I'm gonna give you good service, okay?
Right.
And look,
Right.
good service is this. It's 110 degrees in New Orleans right now, right?
Jesus.
If we gotta go look at your vehicle, I'm gonna ask you, do you want a bottle of water? All right.
That's good.
I mean, that's proper etiquette. I'm gonna give you a bottle of water. All right. Now, after I give you that bottle of water, I want you to leave your car. I don't want you to wait on it. Now, depending on what it is, I want you to leave your car. Oh, well, can I sit and wait? No, you can't sit and wait. That's where the bad service comes into play, because I don't want you to wait. And the reason why I don't want you to wait, because I don't want you to irritate me in this heat, and I don't want you to irritate my workers.
Right.
Because it's hot, and chances are we're going to be kind of working in and out. Chances are he might be back there with his wife beat on, because it's hot. I mean, the shop is air conditioned, but the service, I can't give you great service because it's just so hot. So I'm going to excuse him for having his undershirt on because it's hot. He might not have his work shirt on because it's so hot.
Right.
So I give you that water, but now you got to understand that it's hot and we're not giving you great service, because I'm not about to walk back out there to your vehicle in this heat.
Right.
We're gonna talk about this car inside, and I'm gonna go glance and show it to you. But look, come on, baby, let's get out this heat. So I can't give you great service. Now, if it's wintertime or springtime, come on out, let's look at it.
Right.
But I can't give you great service and give you a great product, not during the summertime.
Gotcha. So those were all my questions. Is there anything else that you want to touch on before I let you get out of here? I know you got to get back to work. So is there anything else that you want to touch on before I let you get out of here?
You know what? All right. I got a question for you.
Okay.
So, are you willing to put together a coalition for a collaboration in the future to get all these guys or get guys highlighted that we're actually saying as kind of being left out?
I am.
Would you be willing to organize a coalition to do a couple of bills so we can get these guys highlighted as a collaborative deal?
I am.
Because instead of a challenge or competition, something where we all collaborate on and kind of build and kind of work together so we can see and, you know, just kind of network and fellowship. And then we have something cool at the end of it also.
I am.
All right. Well, you got your job. You got your hands tied for a minute.
One thing about me, don't ask me because I'm gonna be calling everybody. Hey, like, look, what we trying to do is whoop whoop, and they gonna get sick of me.
Well, I think in order to change the narrative, to change people minds about what's being or what's out there,
right?
We gotta come together and build something. It could be a vehicle. It could be we could put together a show. You know, we gotta build something. It could even be a car network where we got all kinds of different women. Because I mean, women definitely fall into a minority category completely across the board.
Right.
But we got to build something that way you could go back and look at it.
Right.
And inside that coalition, you also show them how to get themselves registered and how to get businesses licensed and stuff like that. Because if you want to start the actual conversation, you need to make sure that you're legal.
Absolutely. I feel like this, and I have for some time now. You have to be the change you want to see. So if I'm saying I'm really big on this. If I'm a person that's always talking about how it's no good people in the world, how it's no good women in the world, how it's no good whatever in the world, if I can't find one, it's my job to be one, right?
Right.
So if I'm saying I ain't under 35, but you know what I'm saying, maybe they can get under 55 or something, or under 50 or something. But if I'm saying it's no, and I can't even, after you got that accolade, the 35 under 35, I went back to look for any African American women, and I never saw it, right? So if I'm saying that I have a problem with there not being any African American women or whatever, then I got to be prepared to throw my hat in the ring. So yes, I'm definitely willing to do that.
And look, it's just a matter. So look, I did my research, right? And the research I came up with was they're not registered, they're not legal. So if you're gonna start the conversation, go get your stuff legal, and look, I honestly will tell you this. I think the tables will turn, and it will inspire more people to actually want to do it.
Right.
You know, more women in the workplace will inspire other women. Because I know a lot of car salesmen that's women, African American women. I know two that actually sells high-end cars. The problem that they got that they have is they don't elevate fast because they wasn't interested in taking all the training classes. If there's a training class, take it. That way you can get that certification and get that one and get that one and get that one. They limited they made a ceiling for themselves by being lazy.
Absolutely.
And then once they realized that they couldn't go past that ceiling, now we're gonna take the class. Well, that was your opportunity. They're not offering no more.
Right.
You gotta wait till that time comes around.
Right.
You know, so if it's just a matter of hunger, you gotta be hungry in order to want to get it.
So I'm definitely hungry agree. I'm willing to spearhead whatever I need to spearhead in order to see more people that look like me and you in those arenas. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Gotcha. Well, look, start the journey, honey.
I will.
I mean, look, I collected a lot of data from it, and I was shocked. And just to know that I'm still one of the only ones, I mean, it's just a matter now of giving the information and funneling the information around. Because, I mean, I'm still learning stuff in the car industry right now myself.
Right.
So, and I thought I had all that information. Oh, I know what to do, and come to find out, I didn't have a clue. You
ain't even know half of what you thought you knew about this.
I didn't even scratch the surface, and I've been in business all this time, and I thought I was doing something. I ain't even scratched the surface.
Right. Well, Ed, listen, it was an amazing. I learned a lot. I'm always super excited to talk to someone such as yourself, who has all these what did I say before you came on? Who has a lot of motion.
Right.
I can't wait to see what's next. Maybe they'll make a 50 under 50, and we can, get it. Get him that this time.
End up doing it too.
We ain't under 35 no more, so.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
We gotta get him to 50 under 50 on SEMA. But it was a pleasure speaking with you. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to talk to us. And is there anything else we should know before you go?
Nah, just I guess just stay tuned. Once we get out of this heat and into some cool weather, we got some cool stuff that's on the way.
Say this. I know I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna say this. One thing people who watch the show don't understand is a lot of the stuff that y'all can't say, I be done talk to y'all, and so I know it behind the scenes.
Right.
And it be killing me that y'all don't say it, but I can't say it, so I'm just gonna shut up.
Yeah, well, look, it's I had to learn. It's a lot to be proud of, and I would love to like run off on it, but it's better to see them to let a person see it, because they appreciate it more. Like, oh damn, he did that.
Right.
So yeah, we got some good stuff coming. You might have to bring me back home.
I will. I definitely can't wait for the world to see what's coming when it comes to
shit. I'm not even ready.
You ready? You ready? You just don't know you ready. You're ready though. I'm ready too. I just can't wait. I just can't wait to see it. I'm just ready for it to come to fruition.
Right. Well, thank you for having me. It's an honor to do your show.
Thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, honey.
All right.
Getting back in this lab.
Okay. Bye-bye. Have a great day. So, guys, if y'all did not catch the full episode, that was Ed, the Stitch Doctor. He owns High Class Customs. If you missed any of today's episode, you can catch the replay on YouTube by clicking the link in my bio. You can also catch up on any past episodes of Rides and Vibes. We have now officially been doing it. September 2nd will be 4 years of Rides and Vibes. So there are a lot of episodes to catch up on. We have some legends that we've interviewed. We have some people that are no longer with us that we have interviewed. So make sure you click the link in the bio to subscribe to the YouTube channel and catch up on all past episodes of Rides and Vibes. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night.